There's not a human being that would ever come to this house that go, what the?
Yeah.
It's amazing that what started off as fixing a drainage issue became this. For us as artists with rock and water, this is a mountain in Illinois. You don't get these kinds of pallets to work with as an artist. This is why when you bring them out to fix a little drainage problem down there, it's like, any idea we can do something up here? We are in Geneva, Illinois. We are coming up on the Fox River. I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is Brian Helfrich, my top guy for 23 years. And last spring, so a year and a half ago, we built, which was the largest residential?
The largest residential stream we have ever built.
You are in for a real treat. Check this out.
Hey, it's so good to see you again.
Likewise.
Good to see you.
What's up, Mike?
How you doing, Greg?
How are you? Good to see you
Hi,
guys.
How's it
Hello,
going?
good. How are you?
We are at one of the largest residential projects that we have ever done, and it was all because you met this lovely lady and wanted to propose to her in the backyard, right?
That's what it was.
She was worth every penny, yes?
Absolutely.
Not today.
I've never seen the view of the water feature from inside the house.
Oh, come on.
Wow, what a view. Spectacular.
It's time to move on to something new. So we actually got our waders on. I take his son's waders and we go in when we're cleaning up because I feel like such a fisherman.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually
Yeah.
part of the intent of it. At one point, you were going to put some bass and stuff down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fly fish.
We've got some koi in there.
Do you?
As soon as you walk back out here, you hear the sound. There's not a human being that would ever come to this house
No.
that go, what the?
Yeah.
I remember when you guys were doing the construction, you were really worried about all the neighbors.
Yeah, it
and-
all worked out. We pushed them right up until they were about ready to throw us out of the neighborhood.
This was probably the most complicated job because it's beautiful. We're in this nice sloping thing, but all the rain, and we did it in the spring. It was just a mud bath. I remember losing a machine down there.
Well, I personally pulled off during the complicated time.
Right? We brought
those
in
guys-
some certified aquascapes contractors.
And they had to do all that drainage underneath the pond down there.
This all looked better, but my Katie, the one in the army, we had
Yep.
her dog who's ADD. But
A dog with ADD.
wow,
We've got one too.
Everything's
His
divided
name's
in
Greg.
half.
This was originally proposed. I remember you flew in over Aqualand, isn't it? And you saw, what is this building down here? Isn't that the story?
You came in Aquascape and you gave me a call and I said, yeah, I can stop by really quick. And I came over and I think with a can of spray paint, I just kind of started going like
Oh,
this.
but
They started
you guys
selling
wanna
me
talk
on,
to me.
we got to do this and this
Yeah.
rolling hillside would look great here. I was trying to clean up the area under the bridge. And here we are.
It's the largest residential stream we've ever built. Ever.
Really?
And this is my 27th year in business.
Wow.
Here we have like a mile-long stream over at the Wilderness Lodge in Wisconsin.
Commercial.
But it's commercial. One of the great parts about this part here, Greg, is obviously
Yep.
the bridge, but bringing the water right up to basically the foundation
I
of the house.
love it. I've never seen it from inside, but I'm always like, oh, look at that window,
Yeah.
perfect.
And so the idea is when the sun comes up, you know, it
The
reflects. And so
reflections.
you get the wavy marks every now and then
We do.
all over the ceiling in there. So what happens is the water acts as a mirror, right? And so the sun hits it, and because we have that gentle flowing water right there,
Beautiful, love it.
it acts as a mirror, and then the light refracts and then goes up and puts all the wavy marks all over the canopy of the ceiling inside there.
And I love that how the water, it just comes out. It looks like it's a spring. It
Yeah.
literally looks like a spring. It's exactly how a spring would look.
So this pathway was actually here, so we wanted to design it around this pathway and utilize this. At one point, we actually completely changed the design. We were going to bring the waterfalls more this way,
Right.
Remember that?
and then we started getting into it. I said, you know what? If we bring it this way, there's nothing to be seen from the pool house down over there. So we
Right.
angled it that way so you could see it more from the pool house. And these stone steps are just awesome.
I love how you spread this out with that giant rock in there.
This is probably the most dramatic part of the drop. You know, it's really steep from here down to here. It gets really, really dramatic, and the rest of it's going to be a little bit more meandering. We don't really build up one, we don't have to. We've just carved into the existing soil to make it look like the water's eroded away.
Yep. And expose the stone.
What we did with the design here, Greg, is obviously it's 200 feet total length,
Yes.
but the pumps that we would have had to use to push from all the way down there 20 feet up in the air would have been extreme. So we stopped this top system right here and put these big large rocks in to make it look like the water disappears underneath. and then started another system over here. So it's actually two separate systems, so they can run them independently.
And I love how you made a natural lawn land bridge. The dogs go right through it. So not only is it functional, because it makes it more pragmatic for the pumps, okay, but it's also aesthetic with this grass. I actually like it better with this little breakup in it.
Just the way that it meanders down, and you've got some substantial waterfalls through it, just turned out perfect.
This is just naturally the shape of this rock right through here. So it's got this big area right here, it just kind of funnels through, and then look at that little tiny thing behind it. Well, how cool is that? I mean, you have 20,000 gallons of water per hour coming over it, but one of my favorite parts is this little area that requires less than 200 gallons an hour. These are the types of things, this little bit of water, this plant just naturally growing out of the rock, that makes it look so natural. And it just keeps happening over and over and over again. You could come to this yard 100 times, and every single time you come, you discover something completely different. Over time, it's going to evolve and be better and better and better.
So a year and a half ago, actually this was pretty much the motivation to get this yard pimped out for the wedding.
We were on, you guys, like...
This was part of the problem, because Brian's like, it was the fall, and he's like, if you want this ready for next July, we better start in the fall, because we're not going to be able to get all of this done with everything else and the weather, and of course we just barely made it, but it all worked.
And so they had to live an entire winter with over 150 tons of stone just sitting in the lawn over here. So every day it was a gentle reminder through the entire winter that they're coming back, they're coming back.
We hang out here a lot just because the sound is beautiful, and Mike loves fire.
Yeah, the fire pit was an afterthought. You guys were...
Fire pit was an afterthought. And that's an awesome waterfall facing the fire pit.
What's amazing too is every one of these stones was imported from out of state, because this is not native stone for this area. You know, the limestone and moss rock, it all comes from Missouri, comes from the Ozarks, which it looks like you recreated the Ozarks in your yard with 170 tons of this rock.
I grew very attached to one fish called white lips.
Of course,
I felt he comes home from work one day, he was like, what's this for? You bought a bubbler and a heater? Well, white lips. I started crying. The fish is only this big. I was so upset. I honestly didn't know what to do.
And he made it all winter.
He made it all winter. They all did.
With the fish, they're used to the dogs traipsing over that bridge, but you built some type of hiding place for these fish.
The bridge itself works as a natural hiding place, right? Because they just feel protected. It's hard for herons and raccoons and stuff to get underneath there. So they're going to go to a place where they always feel safe. And so the bridge by itself does that, but I'm sure there's a fish cave or something in there as well.
We always put a fish cave in so that they can feel the comfort. 2 years ago, their son worked with us, so he...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was because he came home, saw what was going on out here, and was like, what the heck, and looked at our company and saw we had some opportunities.
And he became friends with everybody.
Yes.
So it would be like, he would get, so when he came home on breaks, and he got to see people, he loved it. He said he's never worked so hard in his life.
I was not a student. I was a kid that Mike Rowe type, want to work with my hands and being outside. And I learned more from playing sports than any class that I ever took. So it's all about team for me. Team. And we need more kids that want to work with their hands. Because I wasn't an intellectual, I was a guy that worked with my hands, and I was able to parlay my passion into the largest business in the world in its space, doing what we do. And so when I see a kid who has any sort of an interest in stuff like this, I pretty much bounce at it, because I think more kids need to be encouraged to work with their hands and be creative. And we love kids to be able to get up there and experience that.
This is really designed as a giant pondless waterfall. We have 2 pump vaults over there that have the big pumps that push water all the way up to there. But you're going to get an enormous amount of debris that falls in this pond. So using a traditional skimmer with a pump inside the skimmer box, push it all the way up, doesn't make sense. So what we did is we put on our little micro skimmer down here. You can see all the debris going inside the skimmer. And all it does is push water over here. So the only intent of it is not really to feed the giant waterfalls, it's just to help skim this stuff. And you can see how well it's working.
You know, Brian, it's amazing that what started off as fixing a drainage issue
Yeah.
became this.
I guess when you can see the fullest potential, right, you have to kind of whisper into somebody's ear, like, what if? And I think what's so much fun, and I say that a lot, but for this family, how could you not have a wedding here?
Right. Absolutely. And how could you not want, other people not want to have a wedding here? This is
I kind of
want to get married.
I want to renew my vows, right?
Absolutely. You know what? This is just so fun for me. And the fact that they enjoy it so much, and it's part of their history now that they've gotten married back here, and it all started from fixing a drainage problem. It's just an amazing thing. And hopefully a vlog like this will inspire more people to get married in their backyards and to do maybe not this, but at least something to showcase how they live the aquascape lifestyle. Good work, my man.
Thanks.
They home?
Yeah. They're gonna meet us in the back. Yeah, you'll love them. They're so much fun.
Of course I'll love them. They're pond customers. Oh, I love that stump with the moss on it.
Cool.
The hostas. Just listen to that sound.
So this was a rehab. They had something before, and it never worked. So we really just reused all the rock that was on site and put it back together with this. We didn't have to bring anything. We just put in a pondless system. You can see the vault is covered with a bunch of little stones down there.
Yep.
This is Greg.
I'm the pond guy, Greg. Nice to meet you too. How long have you had this?
I think it's 4 years.
What a nice space you have back here. I would imagine that you spent a few hours swinging in this.
Yeah, sometimes napping.
That's what you should be doing. So this was someone else that built one, or you guys that built
We
one?
had done it with my brother-in-law and my
You just
husband.
wanted that sound, you wanted a little water feature.
Right. We had done a big one, and then that was too much. Then we needed something.
And that's when you found
smaller.
Brian?
Absolutely.
How do you like it now?
I love it.
How much work is it?
Not a lot less than what we had before, because it was like in the springtime it was a big mess to clean up. Now it's it's real easy. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's absolutely beautiful.
Notice how each rock is like, it's just as simple. There's a big rock on one side, big rock on the other side, something in between. And each waterfall, as unique as it is, look at how they're built kind of the same way.
Right.
Look at how well the spillway's hidden.
Yep.
So it really looks like it's kind of come out of the mountain side there.
And then all the plants around the sides to soften it up. So many times you see a waterfall being built and it's so much boulders and rock work. Here you got mulch, you got plants, you got beautiful wood, everything incorporated just like you would pick it up out of nature and put it in someone's backyard.
Look at how the size of that hosta, huge, just frames that whole waterfall out. So instead of the rock framing out the waterfall, that hosta frames out the waterfall instead. Plants are everything.
Makes or breaks our job. So if you have any questions of what living the aquascape lifestyle is all about, that's what it sounds like, just like that. And it's fantastic to be able to sit out here, visit my customers, see how they live the aquascape lifestyle, and the only downside is having to leave. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow along as we visit beautiful backyards with serene environments.